Murder! Murder! Murder!
Most Foul. Welcome to Most Foul TV. This is Most Foul TV with your host, Dante Petty.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Most Foul TV. I'm your host, Don T. Pena, and this is Most Foul Chief. All right, we are one day away from the Kansas City Chiefs coming to Los Angeles to destroy the Los Angeles not-so-superchargers. And it sucks because I wish I could go to that game with fucking COVID and all this crap. I'm totally missing that game. I like when they announced the schedule, I was like, oh, hell yeah, they're coming to LA and I'll get to go see them. Unfortunately not. So that sucks. But that's the least of our worries, I guess, So there's always next year, right? But yeah, so Chiefs will be in town tomorrow, be in LA, and they're going to destroy the Chargers. But before we get into that, before we get into the pregame stuff, we'll talk a little bit about last week's great performance by our Chiefs, and the great job, the great opener they did, and Patrick Mahomes. But even though we had such a great week one to remind the NFL of who the champions are, who the best team in football is, you still got some people that are kind of like, just don't always have something to say or not give the Chiefs the credit. And case in point here, we're going to go to the tape here and Kurt Warner's top 5 quarterbacks of week one. Patrick Mahomes does not make this top 5. And that's not necessarily the worst thing. I think that's hilarious and that's just laughable. But what he says here, listen to who edged out over Patrick Mahomes in his little top 5, because he, I guess, had Mahomes at 5 and was going back and forth about who was going to get that 5th spot. Listen to this.
Week one, and then you sit back and wonder, okay, is it just a fast start, or will these guys be on the list all year long? But it was not easy. Starting with number 5, a guy I didn't expect to be on the list with all the changes that happened in Jacksonville this offseason. But Gardner Minshew, I'm a guy
Gardner fucking Minshew. Yes, you heard that right. He sneaks in over Patrick Mahomes, who he thought had a great performance Thursday night. Gardner fucking Minshew. So, sorry for those that are listening. I was taking a drink of my Bud Light there. What? Seriously, again, and I'm sure Gardner had a great game, but you cannot tell me in any stratosphere that you're going to pick Gardner Minshew over Patrick Mahomes for anything. And again, I get it. We're used to Mahomes throwing for 5 million yards and 100 million touchdowns and all that, and I get it. And he spoiled us like that. But let's just take a look at what Mahomes did, and you're telling me that that's not good enough for your top 5, and you got a guy like Gardner Minshew squeaking it out. Especially considering the level of competition. We beat a playoff team, a team that's has gotten the better of us in certain situations at certain points over the years, right? Now, not in the playoffs, of course, but, we've traded games throughout the seasons over the years. 1 second, my dog wants to go out. One of the other ones wants to go out. I'm going to open the door. Give me 1 second, guys. So that little white one that you guys saw on the camera, that was Daisy. The little hand that wanted to kind of photobomb there. We have 4 dogs, 3 small ones and 1 big kind of medium-sized dog, German Shepherd. The 2 of the small ones wanted to go out. And then now they're scratching to come back in. They can kiss my ass. Gardner Minshew over Patrick Mahomes. Just let's look at some of the stats here. Patrick Mahomes with an 88.8 QBR. 88.8 QBR, 75% completion percentage, 211 yards for 3 touchdowns with a 123.3 passer rating. Any quarterback in the NFL has those stats, and they're like, oh my God, this guy's amazing, this guy's great, MVP caliber. But Mahomes, he had a down game. And I've heard that throughout the week. A couple of analysts are like, Mahomes had a down game. what? It's like, no, the reason he didn't throw for 400 or 350 yards is because we debuted and highlighted and showcased the soon-to-be Rookie of the Year, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Okay, he didn't have to throw for 350 yards. It wasn't for lack of ability or opportunity or talent. It was out of necessity. It was by choice. I'm going to pull the gear back. I'm going to control the game. I'm going to highlight my running back. Everybody, here is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Let me introduce you to the Clydesdale. That's what Patrick Mahomes said last week. And you got all these idiots like, oh, yeah, he did, he didn't have, especially like, what's his name? The guy I always make fun of, Mike Mangini. He said it too. Oh, Mahomes didn't have a great game. Shut up. Like, and then Kurt Warner with this dumb list, right? Now again, and I think the top three was, I think number one was Aaron Rodgers, who had a good game. And then I think it was Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton. I forget who was four. I don't know, somebody else, and then obviously Gardner fucking Minshew. So, it's such a joke. It's like, on one plan, like, Mahomes had a hell of a game, hell of a debut, laser precision, shows you again why he is who he is, and then decides to pull the throttle back to showcase a running back. But that's a down game for him, right? Laughable, hysterical, and really just more fuel to the fire for our Chiefs to repeat on this road to the Super Bowl and a second ring. On the road to the running back tour, right? 1 second. Shut up, Brucey. Gotta kill that volume so we don't get in trouble here. So I can play some highlights for you guys in the back. For those of you that are watching this on YouTube. For those of you that are listening through the audio, unfortunately you don't see the video stuff, but go to YouTube. Most Foul Chief on YouTube. So let's get into tomorrow's game. I'll stop ranting about Kurt Warner and his bullshit week one retarded list. So we got the Chargers and a couple of interesting things. I think it's going to be not that big of a competitive game. Now there is a one thing though that I'm a little concerned about because dang it, I hit the wrong button. One of the running backs that the Chargers, and I mentioned this in one of the videos a couple of weeks back, one of the early videos it was about the division, and I said the Chargers had stolen a running back that I like, one of UCLA's number one running back, a guy I liked when he was in UCLA in what is his name? Joshua Kelly. There we go. And so, give me 1 second here. Let's get the screen right. There we go. Chief highlights. So, 1 second, guys. Interrupt. See, that's the problem. Get in here. This guy's at the door. Dang interruptions, man. Horrible episode. Joshua Kelly. They drafted Joshua Kelly, I believe, in the 4th round. The LA Chargers did, and he's going to add an element to their game. He's definitely going to make them a little bit more dangerous, just like Clyde Edwards-Helaire does for us. The major difference is they don't have anywhere near the amount of talent across the board the way we do. I think if they're smart, if the Chargers are smart, they will rely on Joshua Kelly and make him the number one running back sooner than later, and then they'll have a bit of a competitive edge, with most teams, and because he's going to be good. Like, I think he's going to be a hell of a running back in the NFL. I saw it in UCLA. I was like, damn, this kid is really, really good. The fact that the Chargers got him, I was like, God, man, seriously, out of all the teams that could have drafted him, the only thing that would have been worse would have been the Raiders drafting him. But again, and then beyond that though, it's Tyrod Taylor, who is a okay quarterback. He's a decent quarterback. He doesn't scare anybody. No one's like, oh my God, it's Tyrod Taylor. We need to prepare. No one cares. Like, so what? Like, yeah, you're a decent quarterback. You're an okay guy. Doesn't move the needle for me. So I'm not worried about that. It will add. I mean, they keep saying he's a game manager. He's going to take care of the ball. I guarantee we're going to pick him off tomorrow. The Chiefs will force him into a situation that he's going to have no choice. He's going to throw it, and or it'll be a fumble. Watch, mark my words. They've been talking about they're not going to turn over the ball anymore because he's going to take care of it. Sometimes it's not even up to you. The defense forces turnovers, and I think our defense will tomorrow because that offensive line hasn't changed. The whole reason why Phillip Rivers used to get creamed was because his offensive line sucked. And so what do you think is going to happen tomorrow? That they didn't really spruce up that offensive line. So Tyrod Taylor is a lot more mobile than Phillip Rivers. So he'll get out. He'll get out of trouble. Maybe throw it away. But I expect at least a pick, maybe a fumble. A quarterback fumble. So I definitely think that the NFL is going to really start to realize how good our defense is now. Like we gave up some cheap, garbage times points and plays at the end of last week, and I'm glad Tyrann Mathieu got on the guys for that. But I'm not. That to me is not like, oh, see, it's the same old. It's not the same old defense. They did their job. The game was hella out of reach, and then they just kind of like whatever. They were in cruise control, so I don't really care about that 20-point score or whatever. I mentioned that in the last video that I'd rather have them take a seat back and kind of relax, let the other guys, some of the other third, fourth stringers play, even if we give up a score and some yardage, but it preserves the health of our top guys. I'll do that all day. I'll do that every game. So I have no issue with that. But I do think that the core defense are going to start to show, and every game more and more, how good that they really are. And by midseason, the NFL is going to be like, oh my God, the Kansas City's defense, where'd they come from? It's like, we've been telling you this since week 11 last year. You just haven't been paying attention. So Tyrod Taylor, conservative quarterback, game manager, whatever you want to call it, not afraid. I think he'll throw a pick, maybe even a fumble, maybe both. And then let's take a look. I mean, again, beyond Joshua Kelly, I mean, who do the Chargers have on their offense, right? Like, who do they have? Who are their wide receivers? I don't even remember. Let's see. Chargers, wide receivers. Let's take a look here. I don't even remember. So, I mean, okay, yeah, Keenan Allen, right? They still got Keenan Allen, but again, he's okay. He's good. Is he one of the best wide receivers we've played against? No. We've played against the Antonio Browns, against the DeAndre Hopkins of the world, and he's not at their level. He's not. He's good, but he's not. He's not at that level. He's not even Tyreek Hill at Tyreek Hill's level. I mean, I still will argue with anybody that Tyreek Hill is the best wide receiver in the league, because what does it require for you to be the best? You have to be able to do things that nobody else can, right? Can Tyreek Hill run routes now? Yes. Hell, he runs amazing routes now. Can he catch the ball like in midair, make tough catches in 50-50? Yes. Does he have good hands? Yes. Has he made one-handed catches? Yes. So all those great things that you see other wide receivers do, Tyreek Hill can do, right? His vertical leap to get some of these balls is amazing, right? And he's a small guy. But what's the one thing he has that nobody else does? And it's that speed. Nobody can catch him. So if he can do things that other wide receivers can do, but then he has something that they cannot duplicate, in my eyes, that makes him the best. Makes him the best in the NFL. Just like Kelsey is the best tight end, which is pretty kind of universally accepted. Kittle is coming up. He's right. He's there, but I don't think he's at Travis's level. But I mean, so what they got? They got Keenan Allen. They got Mike Williams, KJ Hill. Again, guys I've never really heard of. I mean, I've heard of Mike Williams, but all these other dudes, it's like, So, I mean, I think they need to go play action. They need to try to establish that run game. If they're smart, they'll utilize Joshua Kelly and try to kind of use. But at the end of the day, it's just not enough. It's not enough. one of the best running back in the NFL last year at the end of the season was Derrick Henry, and we shut him down. And so now here's a young rookie running back who wasn't the top of his class. I thought he was great. I thought he could have been a top, probably the third best running back behind DeAndre Swift and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Flip those two, whichever, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, DeAndre Swift, and Joshua Kelly. I thought he was right there. But he wasn't the top guy, and he's coming into a team that shut down the best in the NFL last year. And then so if that happens, which I think it will, they'll shut the running game down again. And then what do the Chargers do? They got to rely on Tyrod Taylor's arm and Keenan Allen, and Phillip Rivers couldn't do much with that. And he's supposed to be touted as one of the best quarterbacks, of all time. They talk about him with all his stats and all that. So if he couldn't do damage, what's Tyrod Taylor, a journeyman, going to do against our Chiefs? So I don't expect it to be competitive. I'll give you the score, my prediction, all that at the end of the video here. So yeah, I mean it's going to be fun. I can't wait. Now, is tomorrow going to be the 50 burger? I don't know. Possibly, it could be. It depends on who's coming back. And actually, I haven't looked at injury reports or anything like that. So let's take a look at that. And before we continue, though, I do want to say, let me make some corrections from last week's video. So I kept saying Willie Snead, and I think because I was thinking about Willie Gay Jr., and I kept thinking of our defense, it's Snead. So it's, so it's Willie Gay Jr., and Snead's first name is, hang on a second here, sorry. Laverius or something like that, right? Give me 1 second. Let's look this up here. KC Chiefs. And I kept getting their names wrong. And also for Kelechi Osemele, I know how to say that now. Because I kept butchering his name last week. At least that's all I've heard them say. I've heard people say Kelechi, or Kelechi, right? Kelechi Osemele. He's a hell of an addition to the team. I mean, what a job he did last week, and double teaming people and just, yeah, L'Jarius Sneed, right? And I kept calling him Willie Snead last week, and then I finally got it right towards the end. But another great pickup. L'Jarius Sneed was phenomenal last week. Willie Gay Jr. is going to be really good. And Kelechi Osemele, can't say enough about that guy. What a pickup. I think from what we saw last week, if he plays that way all season long, man, I honestly think that, unfortunately for Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, he may not have a job, or at least not a starting job, next year when he comes back. They'll bring him back because he's a great player, but this guy is dominant. Osemele is dominant, man. They could not get past that guy, and for a guy that size to do what he was doing, taking on double teams and pulling them both and creating these lanes like that. Look at that. Some amazing video highlight videos on YouTube and some breakdowns on there. RGR Football has a great one. Go check them out. And you get to really see like how good Osemele did in last week's game. So we get more of that throughout the season. I really think that Laurent Duvernay-Tardif will probably be the backup to him next season because the Chiefs will extend it. So I guess that depends on price tag, right? I can't say 100% that they'll re-sign him, depending on how much money he wants, especially if we win a Super Bowl again. So we'll see. But so hell of a job. I can't wait to see what they're going to do tomorrow. I really hope that we get to see a little bit more of the pass game from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We didn't see really any of that last week. And there was no need for it. We were dominant. The Chiefs went up. Again, that score is not even reality of what the situation was. Like the score was 34-20. So it was like, oh, they were only up by, they started to come back at the end. No, they didn't. The Chiefs went up. they went up like 34 points or 30 points to 7. 30, like, after that first score, after the Texans scored once, then the Chiefs went on a run, and it was some outrageous thing like 34 to 7 or whatever by the end of the game, like of a jump, in score. That's dominance. So towards the end where they gave up another touchdown and all that, none of that shit mattered. The team was in cruise control. They didn't care. Like, they were like, whatever. Those garbage time points, man, like, does not tell the game story. The game story was, the Chiefs going on a run after they get scored on first and outscore the Texans like 34 points or 33 points to 7 the rest of the game. So, that's crushing. It really is. And the Chiefs have that ability. We saw it all last season. We saw it game 2, week 2 during when we played the Raiders, and they destroyed the Raiders in one quarter. In the second quarter, they destroyed the Raiders, and then they just kind of like, again, put it in cruise control. They're like, all right, let's just kick back, make sure nobody gets injured, and we're good to go. Sorry, I keep messing with my eyes here. There's not really much to say about, tomorrow's game. This is probably a real short video. I don't know. What do I expect? I expect a lot. I actually do expect a bigger performance from Mahomes. I think he probably heard some of the chatter, is probably going to be a little pissed off about it. He's like, okay, you all talk about everybody else and you're forgetting who I am. Let me remind you. So don't be surprised if you get 4 touchdowns tomorrow and like 350, 400 yards. Don't be surprised. It's the Chargers. It's a rival game. It's going to be in a new stadium. Mahomes going to be excited. He's going to go off. That's what we were checking, right? I want to see who's back. Let's see who is back for tomorrow's game. Because I don't know what happened to McCole Hardman. I don't know if Juan Thornhill's playing tomorrow. What would it be? Injury report? Let's check it out. Let's see. So let's see who's ruled out for tomorrow's game. 3 Chiefs ruled out for Sunday. Who do we got? Let's see. Did not practice. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Wednesday. Colin Sanders out of act. Damn, for the whole month. So Kalen Sanders is going to be out for a month. That sucks. Travarius Ward fractured his hand. We know about that. And Alex Okafor hurt his hamstring against the Texans. So they will not play in tomorrow's game. L'Jarius Sneed will get that start, and Rashad Fenton. Not bad. I'm not worried. The both of them, and Rashad Fenton especially, had a hell of a season last year. He really stepped up in some big key games. Obviously, L'Jarius Sneed just doing his job, being in the right place, and with Honey Badger in the back helping him out and backing him up and telling him where he needs to be and making sure he's lined up. That guys, I lost the connection there. A little bit of a technical difficulty. But yeah, with Honey Badger in the back, making sure everybody's lined up and doing their job, like, I think they'll be fine back there. So no reason to really worry about the rookies there. And so Joey Bosa and Joey Bosa's gimpy. We talked about that, or at least I think I did. You might have missed that. It might have been when the camera cut out. And then they lost their setter, Mike Pouncey, for the season. I mean, damn, Chargers, like, and I've heard this rumor. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but it's been a rumor throughout the NFL that for some reason, the Chargers have a really bad track record of player injuries. And certain players have actually came out and talked shit and dogged the training staff of the Chargers because of how poorly they handle situations. And it's hard to dismiss that when you look at the track record of the Chargers. Whether they're in Los Angeles or in San Diego, they're always injured. So at some point, it's like, you can't put that on the fucking players, because the players come and go and they go to other teams. But it seems like every time players come to your shitty team, everybody gets injured. Why is that? Is it the training staff? Is it the nutritionists? Is it the doctors? Is it all of them? Like, you guys aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing to take care of these like amazing athletes, and or you're not holding them accountable or whatever. Like, it can go from leadership on down. Like, starting right there, they're just not holding people accountable, and then allowing, if the leadership isn't holding people accountable, then the doctors, the nutritionists, the trainers, all those other people have lax attitudes. So they're not going to get on the player's ass to take care of themselves, to stretch. Maybe they skip a stretching session. Maybe they force players or rush players back to playing time, when maybe they should be a little more cautious and tell them, you know what, you take 2 more weeks. We need to really make sure that this injury heals for you 100% so it doesn't aggravate and make it worse. Maybe they're so goddamn desperate or lazy or again, just lack of leadership, and that trickles down to the point where it does affect the players, and then you have a fucking record injuries every year. A string of injuries by the Los Angeles Chargers that just makes it to the point where they can't compete. And, and again, I could care less, because it's like, hey, fuck you, rival division team, and sucks to be you, but it does suck for those players. Like, like the reality of those guys are, they're people, and they're trying to like play a game and have a livelihood, and they go to the Chargers, and it probably shortens their career. And not because they're playing in like amazing competitive games, like close games that matter. They're always losing. So they're never in any games that matter. They're never in the playoffs, and they're still getting injured. Like, damn, that must suck, So, I mean, hopefully, I don't know, maybe the NFL needs to look into the freaking Chargers and their training staff and what they do to help, make their players, keep their players healthy. Just the way they're looking into Washington about the misconduct and all that bullshit. Maybe somebody needs to look into the Chargers about how they conduct their safety amongst the players. Because, damn, I mean, I don't know if there's another team that has as many injuries every single year on cue. I don't know if there is. I mean, there's been, teams, every team has injuries, for sure. Like, we had injuries last year. But no team has significant injuries that much, that consecutively, all the time that I can remember, other than the goddamn Chargers. I mean, you could look at like a team like the Panthers with Cam Newton. It was one injury, Cam Newton, for like 3 years. He was just continuously injured, right? But it was just one guy. It wasn't a collective group of players throughout the whole team every single fucking year. Last year, and every team, again, has injuries, but every team has minor injuries, little things here and there. Occasionally, you have a serious injury. The Chargers seem like just their whole offensive line gets decimated. Their defensive line gets decimated. Their top key players get decimated. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. But whether they were in San Diego or now here in Los Angeles, nothing's changed for them. They continue to get injured, and they're going to continue to get their ass whooped by our Kansas City Chiefs. So, sucks to be you, bro. Sorry, Tyrod Taylor. Don't enjoy that quarterback position that you have there for too long, because at some point the Chargers will get you injured. That's just the reality. It's unfortunate, but that's what's going to happen. It sucks. And again, I like Tyrod, but it is what it is. So, so let's see. What do I think the score will be? Let's see. Let's throw something out there. I think it's going to be a hell of a blowout. I think we're going to go over 40. Let's do, I don't know, 43 to 10. Yes, 43 to 10. I don't think it's going to be close. I think they're going to blow them out. It's not going to be a competitive game. We'll like give up a score maybe late. Maybe the Chargers score a field goal in the beginning, and then we just roll them over the whole game. And then by the fourth quarter, we give up a touchdown finally. But I think that the defense is going to be a little more motivated to not give up easy scores, to not give up even garbage time points, because Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, was pissed off last week about the lack of effort that they put in towards it. Even though they knew they had the game in the bag, he's like, no, fuck you. Don't get lazy, don't get complacent, stay dominant. And that's cool. Like, again, I like that. I love the attitude. I do love it. But I also am not mad at the players, but I'm not a player. I'm not in there, I mean, I don't mind. I didn't mind it because I knew the game was out of hand. I knew if they had to turn it back on, they could have. But I see how, again, pulling the reins back saves the players a bit, saves them from themselves because we avoid those injuries. But at the same time, if you're kicking ass and you continue to kick ass and you're just putting your foot on the throat, I mean, you're really, that lessens the risk of injury as well because you're just blowing them out and 3 and out. Defense gets to go sit down and rest. Offense takes control. Nice long drive. So either way, so it'll be good to see. And I think the defense will step up tomorrow and not allow some easy garbage time points because I think they're going to make a point out of that. They're going to make a bit of a statement. Looking forward to seeing what Clyde Edwards-Helaire can continue to do. Hopefully we get to see some air, some air dynamics, some air raid, in the passing game, and see what he can do in the air with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I hope Mecole Hardman has a bigger game. Again, I don't know what happened to him. I thought I had heard that he didn't even play, or only played one game, or only played like one play. But I never really got any kind of confirmation on that. So let's see if we can find anything on that. But I expect Mecole to kind of, if he's playing, to kind of step up and have a good another showing, like we know he can do. Hardman. Mecole Hardman. No, not Nicole, you stupid computer. I don't even know who that lady is. Mecole Hardman. There we go. Give me one second, stupid computer. There we go. Bang. Mecole Hardman. Let's see what it says about him. Chiefs letter speed receiver. That's old. I don't understand why they have like news from all the way last year is like the top selection when you when you look at Mecole Hardman in Google. It's like showing Chiefs selection may be the end of Tyreek Hill. Like, really, that's a freaking thing from last year. Come on, Google. All right, let's see. No, see, all old news, man. I want to know about last week's game. Was this from last week? Let's just see. Mecole Hardman, week 1. How about that? Bastards. Gotta be specific. Yeah, it doesn't say much. So I don't know. Maybe he just had a bad game and he's real quiet last week because that doesn't say he's injured. Doesn't say anything. Or maybe he just didn't play. So who knows? But I expect him to have a bigger game tomorrow. Again, Mahomes loves to get everybody involved. DeMarcus had a couple of drops. He'll have a better game tomorrow. So we'll see. It'll be exciting. Can't wait. Can't wait to see our Chiefs dominate the Los Angeles not-so-Superchargers. And so, what did I say? 43, 45, whatever. 43-10 is my prediction. Something around those numbers, right? So that's it for me, guys. I'm out here. It was a bit of a short video. Again, there wasn't really much news. It wasn't anything too groundbreaking, too exciting to really talk about. So I will have a new video out for you probably Monday, maybe Tuesday. I don't know. We'll see. I'll try to do it after tomorrow's game, and then I'll release it on Monday or Tuesday. And we'll see. We'll see what's up. For the post game and the celebration, and we'll go over all that stuff. I am Don T. Pena. This is Most Foul Chief. See you in a couple of days after the win. Peace.